Welcome to VLearn's online class of MCS 012. In this session, we will discuss about microprocessor architecture. The topics to be covered under this section are microprocessor architecture, the structure of 8086 CPU, which contains BIU and EU, that is execution unit, the register set of 8086, instruction set of 8086, and various addressing modes. Now, first of all, microprocessor architecture. Microprocessor or microcomputer contains a word micro. Micro means small. So, microprocessor is an example of VLSI bringing the whole processor to a single small chip. If we talk about the languages supported by the computer system, the languages of the computer systems are divided into two categories, that is low level and high level. And assembly language is a kind of low level programming language. You need to get some knowledge about computer structure in order to understand anything. The simple computer model consists of memory to store the data, CPU for the processing of the data and instructions input by the user, and devices like input and output devices. And system bus connects the various components of the computer. CPU is the heart of the computer. Most of the computation occurs inside the CPU, and RAM is a place to where the programs are loaded in order to be executed. If we talk about the microprocessor, then microprocessor is a complete CPU on a single chip, and the main advantages of microprocessor are: microprocessor is compact and powerful. It can be micro-programmed for users' need. It is easily programmable and maintainable due to its small size, and it is useful in distributed applications. And a microprocessor must demonstrate more throughput, more addressing capability, powerful addressing modes, powerful instruction set, faster operation through the pipelining, and virtual memory management. Now the next is structure of 8086 CPU. The 8086 microprocessor basically consists of two independent units, that is BIU, that is bus interface unit, and execution unit. The bus interface unit primarily interact with the system bus, and it performs almost all the activities related to the fetch cycle. And the instructions and data is then passed to the execution unit. So the BIU basically consists of the instruction queue. Instruction queue is used to store the instruction bytes fetched, and the segment registers, these are very important registers of the CPU. In the 8086 microprocessor, the memory is a byte organized, that is, a memory address is byte address. However, the number of bits fetched is 16 at a time. The segment registers are used to calculate the address of memory location along with other registers. Next one is execution unit. Execution unit performs all the ALU operations. The execution of 8086 is of 16 bits, and it also contains the control unit, which instruct the bus interface unit about the memory locations to access and what to do with the data. The control unit also performs the decoding and execution of the instructions. The execution unit basically consists of the control circuits and registers. All the CPU have a defined number of operational registers. 8086 have several general purpose and special purpose registers. Now, if we talk about the register set of 8086, I already told you that 8086 has several general purpose and special purpose registers. So, 8086 registers have total 5 groups. These groupings are done on the basis of the main functions of the registers, that is general purpose register, segment registers, pointers and index registers, special registers and flag registers. Firstly, we will discuss about 4 registers, that is AX, BX, CX and DX. The 8086 microprocessors have 4 general purpose registers, namely AX, BX, CX and DX, and all these registers are of 16-bit. However, each register can be used as 2 general purpose byte registers also, and these byte registers are named as AH and AL. For AX, BH and BL for BX, CH and CL for CX and DH and DL for DX. The H in the register name represents the higher byte, while L represents lower byte of the 16-bit registers. And these general purpose registers are primarily used for general computation purposes. If we talk about these 4 registers individually, then AX register is also known as accumulator register. Some of the instructions like division, multiplication, rotation, shifting, etc. requires one of the operands to be available in the accumulator. Next is BX, that is base register. It contains the starting base location of the memory region within the data segment. Next one is CX register, that is defined as counter registers. It is used in loop instructions to store the loop counter. And next one is DX register, that is used to store the input output port address for the input output instruction. Now this is all about the general purpose register. Next one is segment register. Now segment registers are basically used for calculating the physical address of the instruction or memory. Segment registers cannot be used as byte register. There are total 4 segment registers, that is CS contains a segment containing the current program. DS generally points at segment where variables are defined, that is data segment. Next one is extra segment register. It's up to the coder to define its usage, and SS, that is stack segment containing the stack. Although it is possible to store any data in the segment registers, this is never a good idea. Now, segment registers can be used with a general purpose register to access any memory location. For example, if you like to access the memory at the physical address, that is 12345H hexadecimal, then it should set at DS1230 and SI0045. And this is good, since this way we can access much more memory than with a single register that is limited to the 16-bit value. Now, here is a new term that is called effective address. The address formed with 2 registers is called effective address. By default, BX, SI and DI registers work with the data segment register, and BP and SP works with the stack segment register, and other general purpose registers cannot form an effective address. Though BX can form an effective address, but BH and BL cannot be used to form the effective address. Now next is special purpose registers and flag registers. The instruction pointer, that is IP, is a special purpose register. IP register always works together with the code segment register, and it points to the currently executing instruction. And next one is flag register, which determines the current state of microprocessor. Flag register is modified automatically by the CPU after mathematical operations, and this allows to determine the type of the result and to determine the conditions to transfer control to the other parts of the program. Generally, we cannot access these registers directly. The way one can access EX and other general registers, but it is possible to change the values of system register using some tricks only. Now, to access the memory, we can use these 4 registers, that is BX, SI, DI and BP, and combining these registers inside the square bracket symbols, and we can get different memory locations. You can see the different combinations of these registers. Here D8 stands for the 8-bit signed immediate displacement, and D16 stands for the 16-bit signed immediate displacement. Displacement can be the immediate value or the offset of a variable, or even both, and if there are several values, then assembler evaluates all the values and calculate a single immediate value. Displacement is a signed value, so it can be both positive and negative, and generally the compiler takes care about the differences between the D8 and D16 and generally generates the required machine code. Next is instruction set of 8086. After discussing about the basic organization of 8086 microprocessor, now we will see the instructions available in the 8086 microprocessor. An assembly language instruction in the 8086 includes the following, that is label, opcode, operands and comments that begins with the semicolon. Opcode means the operation you want to perform, like add, subtract, multiply, divide. Operands can be registers, can be memory locations, it can be a constant value, or it can be a label. And comment are given to make the coding more readable. For example, if we want to add the contents of AL and BL registers and we want the result to be stored in the AL register, then the statement will be add AL comma BL. It means AL equals to AL plus BL, and the label for this statement is assigned as next. The instructions in the 8086 can have 0, 1 or 2 operands. Now, these instructions are grouped according to their functionality into different groups. For example, data transfer instructions, which are used to transfer the data from the source operand to the destination operand. The source operand in most of the cases remains unchanged, and the operand can be a literal, a memory location, a register, or even an input-output port address. You can see some commonly used data transfer instructions like move, which moves the value from the source to destination, push, which pushes the operand into a stack, pop, which pop the operand into the stack, exchange to exchange the values of 2 locations, and load effective address, that is LEA, and this instruction is very useful in array processing. Next one is arithmetic instructions. Arithmetic instructions, which are basically used to perform the arithmetic calculations on the specified operands. For example, add, subtract, multiply, divide, increment, decrement, comparison, all comes under the category of arithmetic instructions. Next is bit manipulation instruction. These instructions are used at bit level, and these instructions can be used for testing a 0 bit, set or reset a bit, and to shift bit across the registers. Some commonly used bit manipulation instructions are AND, OR, NOT, XOR, shift left, shift right, rotate left, rotate right, etc. Now next are program execution transfer instructions. These instructions are the ones that causes change in the sequence of the execution of instructions, and this change can be through a conditional or sometimes may be unconditional. So the program execution transfer instructions can be categorized into two categories, that is conditional or unconditional. And some of the commonly used transfer instructions are call, which results in a procedure or functional call, return, to return the control from procedure to the calling program, jump, to unconditionally go to a specific address and get next instruction from the label specified. Then, if we talk about call, return and JMP, these are unconditional. But if we talk about conditional jump, all the conditional jumps follow some conditional statement or any instruction that affects the flag. For example, JC, jump if carry flag is set. JNC, jump if not carry. Similarly, JNE, jump if not equal. JE, jump if equal. And loop, which execute number of time, but the number of times the looping is required is placed in the CX register only. And each iteration decrements CX register by 1 implicitly and 0 flag is checked to check whether to run the loop again and again or not. Similarly, there are various program execution transfer instructions available. Next is string instructions. These are very strong instruction set of the 8086 instructions process to process the string in a compact manner. Some of the string instructions are CMPS, to compare two string bytes of words. Moves, move SB and move SW. It causes moving of byte or word from one string to another. CMPS or CMPSB, it compares two string bytes of words. The source string and the destination string should be present in data segment and the extra segment respectively. Then REP, this is an instruction prefix. It causes repetition of the following instruction till the CX becomes 0. And REP, it is not an instruction but it is an instruction prefix that causes the CX to be decremented. Next are processor control instructions. Some of the processor control instructions are STC, it sets the carry flag to 1, SLC, which clears the carry flag to 0, CMC, it complements the state of the carry flag from the 0 to 1 and 1 to 0 as the case may be. Similarly, STD, it sets the direction flag to 1. So, these are the various instructions which are categorized to different categories like processor control instruction, string instructions, program execution transfer instructions, bit manipulation instructions, data transfer instructions and arithmetic instructions. There are various other instructions available under these groups. Now, next is addressing modes. The basic set of operands in 8086 may reside in a register, memory or immediate operand. But how can these operands be accessed through various addressing modes? So, large number of addressing modes help in addressing complex data structure with our easiest method. Some specific terms and registers role for the addressing are base register, that is BX and BP. These registers are used for pointing to base of an array, stack, etc. Index register, that is SI and DI. These registers are used as index registers in the data and or extra segment and displacement. It represents the offset from the segment address. Now, addressing mode of 8086 can be direct addressing, can be register direct, can be based, can be indexed or can be based indexed. So, if we talk about the register addressing mode, then the operand can be of 16-bit register. Addressing mode can be AX, BX, CX, DX. any of the available mode. Description is, in general, the register addressing mode is most efficient because registers within the CPU and do not require memory access. You can see the example, that is move AL and CH. AL and CH both are registers. If we want to move the content of CH to AL, then this is the register addressing mode in which we specify the register. Immediate addressing mode means immediate operand can be a constant expression such as number, character, etc. For example, in this, if we move AL comma 10, then 10 is a constant. Here A is a character, AB is a string that we will move to a particular register. Next is direct addressing mode. Our direct operand refers to the content of the memory to an address implied by the name of the variable. For example, if we write move count comma CL, count is the name of the variable, or we can say it is a named storage location of memory, and if we move the content of CL to count, then it is direct addressing mode because we refer to a location of the memory which contains the data. But in case of indirect addressing modes, the operand user registers to point to locations in the memory. So it is actually a register indirect addressing mode, and this is a useful mode for handling the strings, arrays, etc. And for this mode, two types of registers can be used. That is base registers which contain BX and BP, and index registers which contain SI and DI. This is all about the addressing modes of 8086. That's all for this session. Thank you.